What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's the Locker Room for our February edition. Hopefully, you still on here. I know we're about 13 minutes late. We apologize for that tardiness. We had some technical difficulties on our end, but nonetheless, we're here for about 45 minutes to an hour just to talk with you a little bit, just to talk about men stuff and well, more so from a man's point of view. Not all men things, but from a man's point of view. What's going on, Daedrian? How you doing today, brother?
What's going on? Happy New Year to everyone.
Yep. That's true. JJ, what's going on, brother?
Good, man. How's everybody else?
Yes, sir. I'm good. Like Daedrian said, Happy New Year. I think the last time we did come on here was December for Christmas movies.
Yeah, Christmas
movies. So we're gonna get into it. For those that may be joining us, looking at us for the first time, we come on here every other month now, and we do a serious one. We do kind of a light one, sports related, movies related. Speaking of movies related, y'all know nothing about this T-shirt right here. Y'all know nothing about this T-shirt.
I look like McDowell's.
That's McDowell's. Oh yeah,
Come on, man.
You know what's crazy? I was going to ask Ja. I was like, "Yo, Ja, what is that?" But he ain't on.
I haven't seen it.
He wanted to say.
And I can't even see the whole shirt. I just see like a little bit of arch. I'm like, yeah, that's McDowell's.
It's McDowell's. But so we do movies, sports. But now we're gonna do something serious. We kind of go back and forth, whether it be we haven't got the politics yet, but whether it be being Black in America, whether it be man and emotions, whether it be being a father, whether it be why men are necessary, whatever. But today we're going to come really quickly, real easy, and talk about what it means to be a man, what it means to be a man. So we're going to go through some myths about a man, and I just want to kind of give the definition of it. An adult male human being. An adult male human being.
Definition.
Yes, a definition of it. Yeah. Another definition says a tall man with a beard. A tall man with a beard.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. I fit the criteria.
Exactly. So again, but we're going to stick with an adult male. An adult male human being, right? So I guess that human being make sense. Because you can't be a male dog and be a man, right? You can't be a male dog and be a man. With the way
tell that to the dog, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
That dog might identify as an adult male.
Listen, that's a whole nother locker room right there. That's a whole nother locker room right there.
Rude.
But okay, well, no, even starting with that, for all those that listening, we are definitely not a religious platform. We all got our beliefs. I believe, we all are openly, Christians, but that's not what we are here for to talk about. But even with that, let's start with I think for me, right off the rip, is that and not get into the myths of without a man, so we can signify what I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that thought because it may get into what Daedrian was just saying about identifying. But we're gonna talk about some myths. What are some myths about what is a man? I didn't want to give no examples. We kind of talked off screen. We've been texting. So what are some myths? Even if those are on a chat, type in there and help us out. You are a man when you do this. What are some myths that we can talk about real quick about, breaking that mold?
I got one.
Yes, sir.
I definitely got one.
So, like recently, I think in the last year or two, and you seen like social media, they talk about in the dating world that a man, if he's dating a woman, he needs to take her out to a fancy restaurant and spend $500 or $600 on the first date. Wow. And that would define what a man is.
Wow.
No Cheesecake Factory.
Wow.
No Cheesecake Factory. Exactly.
That's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
That's a myth, but some people believe that that's the truth.
It's the truth. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think we all agree that that's a myth, right? But let's say Let's and this conversation may weave in and out. We believe it's a myth to have a certain amount, but is it a myth? Is there a standard on any kind of level to make you a man? Do the man have to pay for the meal to make you a man?
Question.
To make you a man. Forget about the amount.
That's not making you. It makes you a gentleman.
Okay.
But I don't think it makes you man per se because you pay or you don't pay. Nah.
Okay. But if it's okay, but is it if you pay, is it also are you? I mean, if you don't pay, could you can still be considered a gentleman if you don't pay?
I think that depends on what age group of woman that you're asking.
Okay. Okay.
Personally.
That's true.
Yeah, because I think
what generation?
I think that question is more geared towards the women than it would be for the man.
Okay.
Because a man can definitely see it as in like, yeah, I'm a gentleman. I mean, I opened the door. So yeah, I'm a gentleman, but I'm just not paying. So a man can see it that way, but she can totally see it. She because the bill came and she had to split it or she had to take care of it. She's not remembering that door being open or anything like that or being picked up. She's not remembering that. She gonna be like, oh, I pay it? Oh yeah. No, that ain't no man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you're right, you can say all that. But there might be a woman who says he opened the door, he did all this, but it didn't have enough money, so he is a gentleman, right? There might be a woman that say you did all that, like you said, but he's not a gentleman. So I guess it's like preference when it comes to depending on even a woman who you ask, right? Some women may say, you know, he picked me up, he ain't have the money, which I appreciate him coming, I appreciate him being even vulnerable. You was man enough to tell me you didn't have the money. Right. So some people can say like that's a man because you was honest. You was honest. But at the same token, some will say, well, if you ain't got the money, don't go out until you got the money. Right. Some will say, well, don't even take on a date. But to JJ's point.
So in a way to sum that up though, I think like because we can get into all the intricacies of that point, but I feel like what we're deep rooted in as far as talking about a man, I think a man would be upfront and say, hey, I don't have the money.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, I would like to take you out or I would like to do something, but a man would just, like, I think a man would say it up front, right? Whether they go out or not. But I think to withhold it and then get there and be like, oh, yeah, I don't have the money. Now that's not right.
Yeah.
But to say it up front, because that takes a different type of man to be able to say, like, I don't have it. I would like to take you out, but I don't have it right now.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think, like you said, it's a lot of layers and intricacies to this. To be like, you know, you was vulnerable enough to tell me, but then you also didn't come. You still a man, you know what I mean? But for me, because we still like that is the $600 is crazy. But if you freeloading, yeah, you know what I mean? Like if you know or like you know you don't have it and you expecting her to pay it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Automatically out the gate, like I know I ain't got it. We be seeing those commercials, and one recently, the man was kind of like, "Yeah, so my card don't work. You think you got this for me?" But he knew his card didn't work. You know what I mean? So when you go there and you playing games, to me, I would classify that in a non-man category, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, in a non-man category. But yeah, that's
because it takes a lot of confidence, and that's probably going to be a word that I might use a lot during this, during our time here. But I think it takes a lot of confidence to be able to express that. Like you may not have X, Y, and Z, whether it's going out to dinner or maybe not having the money to get your car fixed. I think it takes the confidence of a man to be able to say that without having any drawbacks to say, look, I don't want to say that in front of like, no, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Like, this is my situation. Because some people would feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
Right? Like if they say like, oh, I wanted to take this person out or whatever. But I feel like it takes a certain type of man to be able to be upfront and be confident in knowing that, like, listen, I'm okay with how the chips may fall, but like I don't have the money to do this. We cannot go on vacation, or we may have to wait a little bit because I don't have the money, as opposed to trying to front or whatever in order to try to make something happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree. I think, you know, that $600 price, you know, whatever, like that says a lot about the woman, right? Like, yo, like, what are you expecting, right? But when it comes to, like you're saying, JJ, when it comes to the appreciate you for telling me that, you know, I thought I was going to have the money. I don't, whether, but I don't know. How about y'all, real quick before we go, and fellas, if y'all listening in, if you as a person, you know this young lady for the past, let's say first date, but y'all been talking for like a month before y'all went on a date, so y'all got kind of a little bit acquainted. You know, you thought you was gonna have about like 150 in your pocket to take care of the night or whatever. Something happened, you got to pay a bill, but she still want to go. You tell her, nah, I ain't got it. We're gonna have to reschedule. She's persistent. Like, don't worry about it. I got you. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you for being honest with me. You as an individual, we all married on here, but just hypothetically, do you go?
I think the first date, if it was the first date, I'd probably be reluctant to do it. Especially if the initial going out to eat was my idea, right? Like if I was pursuing somebody and it was my idea, I want to be able to, you know, because that's a deeper thing. I wasn't going to get into it because I know that's technically not the topic, but I was going to say, well,
it's cool.
Like, you know how sometimes, like when we talk about the situation about the dating stuff, and a woman is like, "Oh, why can't he take me out?" Like, if you're, I say inviting yourself out, you know, if you're saying, "Oh, we should go on a date, or we should go here, we should go on vacation," I feel like you should have some money. If I'm asking you, then no, I got it. It's all good, right? Because I shouldn't ask to do something that I don't have any intentions on paying for. Mm-hmm. Personally. Yeah. But to get back, I think like if it's a first date, then I feel like the guy should definitely be, you know, taking care of something, taking care of the date or whatever. And if you don't have it, then we need to reschedule. And if they can't understand that, then, you know,
so the guy should pay for it, even if the girl asks to go out. If the girl say, "Hey, you know, I would like to go out with you." Should he still pay for it, or whoever asked should pay?
So I think that, like I said before, I think like if it's the first initial date, you know, because I don't like to get into me personally, I don't like to get into that whole like the tropes of like, oh, he has to do, or she has to do. But I do think like if it's a first date and we're feeling each other out and this, that, and the other, like as a man, I think I would pay for the first date, right? Like that first initial joint. Now we've known each other for a while and not married, but if we've known each other for a while, me personally, I'm not one of those type of people, like if we've known each other for a while and been dating and dealing with each other, if she paid for the day, like I wouldn't feel anything crazy about it. Like if she paid for it, because we're together.
Gotcha.
But like if it's their first couple, like I probably would be like, I would take care of it.
Gotcha. Cool. Adrian, how about you? Would you go if you ain't had the money?
Nah, that's kind of easy for me to answer because I kind of struggle with that now, and I'm married, so you know, I don't even be seeing. I guess that's because of the way that I was raised. You know, I've always saw my dad and my uncle. They always took care of things.
Yeah. Not
saying that that's a good thing because you know it's not necessarily always a good thing, but no, I know I wouldn't. Yeah. Because just because of how I am now, I know even then, you know. Yeah. It would be a no for me.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I don't think I would either. To the Beasley, I don't have a struggle. Not a struggle with that now. No, I think I do because so even real quick before we get on to the next myth, you know. So like let's say if me and Keenan, my wife, were out and I forgot my debit card at home, right? But she has her debit card on her. I'm like, yo, you got to give me the card. Like you can't hand the guy the card. Like you can't hand the waiter the card. I gotta hand the card. Like I just got an issue with that. So I would probably like, yo, let me get your card real quick. So I gotta go like this because I don't want her going like this because it seemed like she the one paying for us. Even this is my wife, 20 years. So I definitely don't think.
Do you sign her name?
Say it again.
Do you sign her name?
I scribble it. Who cares about who signed it?
I'm just saying. I mean,
my name.
you handed somebody the card.
Yeah, I scribble it.
No, I'm saying I scribble my name. You can't. There's no. So when you sign,
like, could be Keena.
Yeah.
Could be Marlon.
When you sign something, you sign your actual name. I do like a quick line. I don't really sign my actual name.
You do the doctor signature.
Yeah, I gotta show you one day. It's like chicken scratch. It's like nothing. It's like a line. Like it's just nothing. But yeah, so I'll have a problem with that. But okay, what's another myth, Deji? You said you had one.
Oh, I think that's more of a grown. I shouldn't even really say man, but until you pay your own bills, till you be responsible for your own self, paying your own way. But I think that's probably more geared towards being grown versus being a man per se. But
we can even break it down. Is that true? I'm not a man until I pay my own bills. Right? Can I live with somebody? They paying my bills, but I'm still a man.
I think that spoke volumes.
Yeah. I mean, look, to each his own, but I'm not going to define myself as being a man if I'm laid up in somebody's crib and not paying and not contributing at all. Yeah. I can't. I mean, what am I doing?
Okay, so let me kind of interject and break it down a little bit, because I heard what you said, Marlon, right? So could it be a situation where can you be a man, right? Or like, are you not a man in that situation, but you're an adult, or vice versa, right? Or do they coincide together? Like, is there a distinction of a difference between an adult and a man?
Yeah.
Because like to your point, if I'm laid up with somebody and they're paying my bills for whatever reason, but I'm a 24, let's say I'm 24. Let's say I'm 22, right? Just above 21 years old. But I'm laying with somebody, I'm chilling with somebody at their house, they're paying the bills. Can I say I'm a man, or do I say I'm an adult?
An adult. An adult is age. To me. I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference between being an adult and a man. Mm-hmm. An adult is the age. You turn 18, 19, you're considered an adult. Yeah. Well, with so many prices everywhere, at 13, you're considered an adult at some of these places that you got to pay for it, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, but okay, and I agree with that, Daedrian. But I think a lot of these things for me are going to come down to the whole scape of it, not just one side of the coin. So let's say that is somebody who was laying up against, like you said that was you, but you have a son, right? You ain't paying you're not paying, you're not paying for your bills. You have a son with somebody you're not, you don't live with them, but every day you walking him to school. Every day you picking him up from the house that he's at and walking him to school. You pick him up from school. You do his homework with him. Like you doing your thing, right? You're doing your thing. So, but I'm still not paying my bills though. Somebody else is paying my bills. But I'm 22 and I'm taking care of my son like crazy. Now, do I say I'm a man in one area but not a man in the other area? They say when it comes to bills, you're not a man. But when it comes to being a father, you are a man. Because I think in most of these things we talk about, you can look at the person's life as a whole, not just what they're doing there. You know what I mean? Is it okay to compensate in another area? Is it okay to be like, all right, you know what? You ain't doing okay in that area, but you lucky you're a good father. Because again, another question still on Daedrian's point, could you be a bad father but a good man?
So I'll say this. I do think that there's nuances to that, right? Because when we say, okay, if you're in a relationship and or getting married, what happens if one of us goes down with our job? Doesn't mean you're not a man. Like if I lose my job, right, for whatever reason, not my fault, It could be a layoff. It could be whatever the case may be. Company goes out of business, whatever. If I lose my job and now like my partner who's supposed to have my back has to take care of everything, does that, like, are you not a man now? Because to your point, Marlon, like you may now say like, all right, well, I'm going to take care of the kids during this time. I'm going to do the homework. I'm going to be cooking. I'm going to pick them up from school, this, that, and the other until I get back on my feet.
Now, I was go ahead, Adrian.
I mean, but at this time, you're still actively looking. It's not like you're just lounging and be like, well, hey, I got my partner. My wife is just going to take care of everything because I know that she got it.
Well, yeah, for the time, let's and I'm being a little bit more specific, but let's say for the time being, I'm looking, but like for this season, right? Like to use that word for this season. All right, so we got it down for the next 2 months. I'm gonna do this to help us out at home, right? So it's like, okay, let's say you got a young kid. Maybe you take the kid out of daycare, but I'm gonna be home with the kid. And that's how we're gonna do it for the next couple of months until, you know, we're both employed. Well, I'm employed again. So I'm looking, but at the point right now, it's service, like it's serving the family well if I'm home and taking care of X, Y, and Z. I mean, I'm not against it. I get the alternative by saying like, you know, oh, you should be actively looking. But if it's serving the family where it's like, all right, this is what is going to serve us best right now. And actually, like, we had a young kid and say, okay, well, we're going to take him out of daycare. So we're not spending $800 a month in daycare or whatever it is, $1,000 a month in daycare. Look, this is going to help us save. Since I don't have a job, let's take the kid out of daycare. We're going to save $1,000. You just got to be home with the kid.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's helping out. So, I mean, when you put it in that perspective, yeah, I mean, you doing what you can do in the meantime to still financially, at least financially, keep the situation going. I was just talking about if, like, you know, you lost your job and then you're just like, oh, forget it. Yeah. Child's still in child care. You still just lounging, you playing PS5 or whatever's out now and just chilling.
Yeah, that's different. I think that goes without said. If you just like, yeah, I ain't doing nothing, I'm just gonna sit on my butt. I think that goes into both what we said about being a man and being an adult. Yeah. Because if you're not just gonna do anything, like you're failing at both of those situations.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree. And like I said, it's so many nuances to this, because even for me in those scenarios, you know, again, I really got to ask myself, what is the man doing? Like you got to, or the male, what is he doing? You got to give me more. Okay, he's like you said, is he looking? Is he helping out in this area? Right. So it's so much to add to that. But these are myths that, you know, that we say. And another myth, you know, men are brave. Is that a myth? Because I mean, the opposite of brave is coward, ain't it? Or scared. Ain't that the opposite of brave?
That's what I would consider the opposite.
Right. Right. So if you know, is that a myth? I'm looking at a list right now. Is that a myth that men are brave or should be brave? If you a coward, are you a man?
I think.
And I think a coward in what way, right? So, right, when it comes to like I think we all would say, or at least I don't know. So it's so lot to unpack. But if my family, I was watching a movie, I forgot what it was, and they was at the snow resort. I forgot who the actor was, and there's an avalanche that came. That dude, it was a comedian. He got up and just ran inside the spot, like his son, his daughter, his wife just got, like, you know, overtaken by all this snow. And he was like, yo, where is you at? Like, yo, you just stayed, you know, whatever. Like, did he have a bad moment and left his family out there in the avalanche? Or was he a coward and not a man? Or was it a bad moment? If your family's in distress and you're like, all right, I'm out. Like, to do a robber come and you run. And you leave your family with the robber. Is that a bad moment?
I think it's a bad moment because I think, like, or everybody, everybody says what they would do until they get into that situation, right? We all could say what we would do in a certain situation. I think it's a bad moment. Now, if this is a continuous thing, then that's different. Then I would say that it's not a bad moment. It's who you are as a person.
You don't think for certainty with your family, like if a certain, we can't. Okay, I'm not gonna say 100%, but let's even give it 90, right? You don't think for 90 to 95%. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna wrestle him. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna take the gun out of his hand, but I can guarantee you I ain't running if y'all ain't running.
In that regard, okay.
Yeah,
but
that's what that whole moment thing to me is nah. I'm sorry.
I'm not, if you ain't running, if y'all standing still, I'm standing still.
Okay, so let me give another example, right? Because I thought you was going there when you said the whole cabin thing or whatever. Because this is what came to my brain. Let's say you're in the cabin, right? Y'all in the cabin, a bear comes and tries to break in. Now, a woman or people would say like, "Oh, you got to take care of the bear." Like, that's a bear. Like, what you want me to do with a bear? Like, I'm going to seek refuge just like you are.
Absolutely.
Like, let's go into this room. Like, I'm not gonna go say, "Hey, bear," and go talk to them. Like, yeah, I might try to do something to barricade my family, but it's like I'm not gonna go out there and wrestle a bear.
Right, but that's not what he was saying, though. That's not.
No, but this is what I'm saying. No, I know this is what I'm saying, though. This is a different scenario.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That whole moment thing doesn't make sense to me because it just like Marlon was saying. I might lose the fight, might lose the war, but I'm going to lose protecting my family. I mean, that's going to be the first thought that's come in my mind is I'm protecting my family. I'm not saying that I'm gonna wrestle with the person. I'm gonna, snatch the gun, snatch the knife out of it. But that's gonna be the first thought is protecting my family. So that's why I say I don't get that whole can it be a moment thing? I know. I don't.
The only thing I would say, okay, let's not say a moment. I could say it could be a second. So let's just use JJ's scenario with the bear. I will say initially, I might be like, whoa. But when I'm realizing like, oh, my family's back there, within about 2 seconds, I'm going back. Because the bear's going to startle me, right? So I'm just going to be like, poof, right? Or maybe not. Maybe I'll grab somebody first and be like, hey, before I go. But I'm not going to keep running. Like, y'all on your own. I'll see you.
Yo, no, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Like, I ain't got to be first. I just got to be faster than you.
That's it.
But okay, so let's take this because this is a good thing to discuss, right? Because I always thought about this, and I never really had this conversation like on a platform like this. Y'all remember there was a school shooting in Florida? I know there's been so many, but there was a school shooting in Florida like a couple of years ago, and when they came on campus, the school security got a lot of flack because he didn't go into school. Like I think he saw them come in and then he left or whatever the case may be. And somebody said that was cowardice. And I was like, let me think with a different set of eyes. Let me think. So on the surface, that sounds cowardice. But what if this is just me thinking differently. I'm not saying this is what definitely happened or whatever the case would be, but this is just me trying to, make some sense of this. What if it wasn't cowardice? Well, what if he was like, yo, my job is to make it home at the end of the day, right? Just using this as an example. Does he sacrifice his own family by not going to try to help save the people in the school? And now he sacrifices himself, which means he's losing out on his family, who's home, whatever the case would be, right? Like this different perspective because his family, I'm sure, wanted him to come home that night. So what if that was the case where it's like, because everybody say he was a cow, he didn't go into school, he's a school security guard. But I'm like, yo, what if he was saying like, yo, I really want to be able to see my family again?
Okay, so only thing I would say about that is you got the wrong job then, sir. So if it's like a cop, now I would say if you felt like I'm outnumbered, like my little gun is not going to do nothing to that, right? Then ain't no point of me going in.
And let's be real, 9 times out of 10,
it's not.
That's the situation anyway.
It's not. Yeah, it's like I may not even have a gun. They got straight up military grade weapons. You know what I mean? So I'm probably not even going to do that. So if it's on that level, why am I going in there? I know I'm going to lose this fight, right? I know I'm going to lose the fight. Absolutely, I agree with that. But if
quickly,
it's going to be quick. You know me. It's a hair trigger. They tap their finger in the gun and 20 bullets come out. 20 bullets come out. So I feel like in that regard, yeah, it's like, yo, I'm not going there for what? I know I'm going to die if I go in there, right? But on the flip side of it, if it's even, if it's like, yo, a dude is in there, like, just like, I don't know, just he's a maniac and he's just going and he's having an episode and he's going crazy, like, right? So it's just his hands,
right?
Oh
yeah, that's totally different.
Yeah, you got to go in there and try something, sir. So you got to go in there.
No, that's
no, but I agree. Pistol versus AR-47 or whatever, AK-47. Look.
I was just trying to get perspective on it because I was just like, maybe the guy isn't a coward like people thought he was.
Yeah.
Maybe in that moment, they say like fight or flight, right? Maybe in that moment he just was like, yo, my family, like I just saw my family 2 hours ago when I left home. Yeah. I'm not gonna see him again. Like, like should his family sacrifice? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what it is. Like, should they just be okay with the fact like, oh, he went in to save them, and now we lose out on our dad, husband, brother, son, whatever the case may be, right? And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying like it might be a different perspective that people weren't looking at.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all.
Okay. I'll say this, JJ. Again, that's why I said so many levels to everything we say. I would say, how is he saying no? Right? Let's say he's like, nah, I'm not going in there because my gun can't add up to them. But come on, y'all follow me. Y'all over here, y'all follow me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take y'all. I'm gonna take the 10 of y'all. We're gonna go in the classroom. We're gonna barricade them, and then we're gonna go back and get 10 more. We're gonna I'm gonna do what I can do. I agree with you. But if then he's like hiding somewhere in the closet, not helping nobody, right? You know what I mean? Sucking his thumb or something like that. Nah, like you're a coward. Like, yeah, nah, you're a coward. It depends. So that's why I said to me, it's like how you doing it. It's like I can't go in there and save you because I'm going to die, but I can save y'all and get y'all to safety and go back and get some more people. Then no doubt you found another way of being brave. You found another way of helping, another way of being there. But if you just like, nah, like you running and like, yo.
Yeah, but also too, like, to your point, I don't think like going to the source of the problem versus trying to help behind the scenes. I don't think there's no wrong in that. Like if you're behind the scenes helping, if you're helping, you're helping.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
So on the flip side of that, let's say one of his kids is a student there. What should he do?
No, but see, that's different. That's different than what I'm saying. Like,
I'm just asking the question. I mean,
yeah, if your kid is there, I would assume that you would go and help.
So, I mean, if that's your job, like Marlon has said earlier, if that's your job, I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate. If that's your job and that's what you're paid to do, if you're going to do that, if your own child is in there, why are you not going to do that if your child is not in there?
Would you go in there? Okay,
that's different though. It's different.
Would you go in there though? Kind of good question though. Would you go in there if your own kid was in there and they had AK-47s and you had a 22? Would you still go in there?
I'm just playing devil's advocate because, to be honest with you, I'm going to try to do my best to do whatever I can on my part. I'm not going to go in there all free willy and be like, yo, I'm a one-man army with this little thing that I got on here and he's all loaded up like Rambo. Nah. I mean, but
I'm a one-man army, son.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to think of something in terms of, I guess, being brave or whatever the case may be. It's not going to come off cowardice because if you look at it in that aspect, you still got to do anything that you can to help out. That's the way that I see. If he just walked away and just I got in my car and I went home. I don't know about that because that is your job. It's like, so why would you do that? And on the flip side, like I said, if your kid, your nephew, your whoever that was in there, you're going to do any and everything that you can before. You're not going to go in there free willy, but you're going to do everything that you can. You're not going to just go home. That's what I'm basically saying. You're not just going to go home and be like, hey, man, you should have. What happened? I was about to go in there, but I saw it. Nah. And then to me, that is being a coward.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Because my thing is going back to, and the reason why I think is a good point, because are you going to go in there? Like, I would, to your point, Daydream, I would go in there to help out in some kind of way, right? But would you, Daydream, would you go in there to fight, like to go to a gun war with this guy? If you got a 22, he got an AK-47.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
That's what good is that doing?
But would you do that if your own child was in there?
No.
So if your own child
was in there, what good is that going to do?
Yeah. So if I can't swim, right? If one of my children jump in the water and they start to drown, should I jump in too? Let's try to save them.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, I can't swim either. So that would be the same thing. If it was my nephew, my godchild, or something like that, what can I do? I can't do anything because I can't swim.
You wouldn't.
But I'm not going to walk. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, okay, well, too bad, and then just go home.
But you wouldn't think that instincts would kick in. You wouldn't think that, look, something gonna happen. I'm gonna try something. I don't know what. I don't got a plan. My plan may not make sense, but something's going to kick in. Instincts, how to swim. My gun going to beat his gun, or you just going to be like, here goes a life jacket.
Yeah, but see, I think that's so.
I don't know what instinct's going to kick in if I can't swim. My instincts.
So I think the difference too is
somebody come in there who can swim. Please go over there.
Not being able to swim is not being able to swim. But I think there's a difference between not being able to swim in a pool versus not being able to swim in the middle of the ocean or an ocean, right? Yeah. Because I feel like if you're not able to swim, you might say, okay, I'm in a pool. I could try to make something work, right? Because maybe in the pool, let's say you at somebody's house, it's a pool, kid gets in the water, can't swim, whatever. You're the only one there. You might be able to say, okay, this pool is only about like 6 feet deep. If I touch the bottom, I could kind of like jump up and maybe get back up there. But if you're in the ocean and we don't know how deep it is, that's a different type of setting yourself up for failure type of situation.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
no doubt. That's the ocean. That's it. It's a wrap.
That's the ocean. We don't know what's in that ocean.
No, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Jal said, y'all jumping in that water. Parents' instincts is to do whatever it takes.
I believe in parents' instincts to do whatever it takes, but who jumping in the water and they can't swim?
Now it's two people that need to be saved.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to literally die.
While you die, we both die.
Yeah,
we both die. And then if I happen to grab onto you, I'm probably pulling you down a whole lot faster.
Oh, making it worse, 1,000%.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm making it worse. So, but yeah, so our instinct would be like, I think it would be that, but I do think our instinct up here would be like, all right, this ain't smart. I don't know though. I don't know. I really don't know. Seeing your child in distress, I don't know if you have logic. I really don't know if you have logic for how, I just don't know. So I would hope I wouldn't, because I can't swim. I would hope I would use my energy to go get a lifeguard, to go get a life vest. I would hope. I would hope. Giles said, I don't think that will come to mind. Yeah, your instinct might just go. You're not going to think I can't swim, right? But so I don't know. I would hope I wouldn't, because then that's two of us dead. And
the only other thing I could think of is like, I don't think it's smart, but I don't think there's a right answer per se, especially if you can't swim. But maybe if you jump in being an adult, you might be able to garner more attention that somebody needs to come to help. Being a bigger person, bigger voice, maybe than a young kid.
That's crazy.
Right? Like
that's crazy work. That's crazy work, JJ. So I'm going.
No. I'm
going to jump in here to get attention.
Like, because if a kid is in there, they might be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. But if you in there, you gonna be help.
You can't on land.
No, that's true. No,
land.
No, that is you're right. You could yell on land.
Well, first of all, let me put it out there like this. I mean, I'm not a father, but I got nephews, nieces, godkids, all that stuff. If I'm at, like, to your point, JJ, if I'm at somebody's house and they got a pool, and it's more than over here 6'4", I'm going to make sure that there's somebody that can swim that's with me. It ain't going to be just me and my nephew, me and my niece, me and my godson, me and my goddaughter by ourselves.
Yeah, where you going? No, you got to stay. You got to stay.
Exactly. Oh, you swim? No. You staying here with me. That's my instincts. That's my instincts, because I know that that's something that I can't do.
Yeah, but that's one half. That's 90% of the time. That 10% of the time is, let's say your niece or your nephew was 3 or 4, not really understanding logic. There's an outdoor pool. This is a real life story happened to a young lady at the gym. There's a pool, right? You doze off, right? The 3-year-old who been asking you all day to go get in the pool, ask you all day. You're like, no, wait till your mom get home. Doze off. She sneaks out the back door. She goes in. But then your nephew comes to say, yo, Uncle Deidre, he wakes you up. Uncle Deidre, so-and-so's in the pool. What you doing? You calling 911? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, I get what you're saying, like, if you could plan for it. But what happens if you don't plan for it? What happens if it's like something that happens just that fast? Now, do you look for some type of life thing to kind of like, one of those things that clean up pool out thing and say, grab onto this? Like, you one of those? Yeah, probably. Versus just jumping, just jumping in there, right? Cool. But let's flip the word brave real quick, right? Not just talking about standing up, stuff like that, because I feel like, again, this is really my one definition. I'm not gonna get to it yet. My one definition of, one out of 2 definition of being a male. Flip brave. You're a man are you brave enough? Are you not a man if you're not brave enough, or you are a coward in lying?
In what?
Lying. Not being able to own up to what you did. Are you a coward? Are you is that now? Are you no longer? Can you no longer say I'm a man? Let's just hypothetically throw it out there. Cheating on our women, doing something out here foul, right? She corners you. Already in her possession, she got evidence. She's just waiting for you to be honest about it. You are denying. She pulls out the proof and says, bam, I caught you. Are you now a coward because you couldn't say, yeah, babe, that's what I did?
I no, because I think we like to throw those words around because they sound good. I don't think that's being a coward. I think it's like a maturity level.
Well, it's a cowardly act.
Okay.
I would say. I'm not going to necessarily say that you're a coward, but it is a cowardly act.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could get with that. I just think like we like to throw words around nowadays. The biggest thing that's been a word for the last couple of years has been narcissist, and everybody, this is narcissist, but I'm like, do you really know what that means? Right? Like, everybody says that, but do you really know what it means? Or if people say words like coward, like, oh, you're a coward if you lie, you're not, like, is it that, or are you just trying to hurt my feelings by saying that? So me personally, I don't, based off the scenario you gave, I wouldn't say, oh, you're definitely a coward. I might say it just might be maturity. But then, not to overtake your scenario, but I say we, but now I'm just using it generally, like men and women. We kind of lie to people all the time. And when I say that, I mean, like, sometimes you lie to protect people's feelings, right? Like, just to give an example, if, like, okay, if like, you're at the hospital with somebody sick, right? You hear the doctor talk to you, whatever, but the person's sick. Are you going to tell them up front exactly what it is? Or are you just going to be like, oh, things will be all right. Like, are you going to say, like, yeah, he gave you 6 minutes to live? Are you going to say that? So, once again, nuances. I know I'm just kind of like throwing examples out there, but I don't think that it necessarily, getting back to the point, I don't necessarily think it makes you a coward. It might be maturity. I would lean more towards that, but it's all a case-by-case basis. But I would lean more towards, based off of your example, I may say maturity.
So, but eventually, right? Eventually, you gotta, okay, let's just hypothetically say that the person, like you as a man, like, or a male, you have a, like, you did something and you got to tell the truth. And you got to tell the truth. You got to be brave enough to look your son in the eye, your daughter in the eye, your wife in the eye, your co-worker, whoever, and just say, yo, that was me. Let's just say, JJ, immaturity don't, in the beginning, I couldn't do it. I wanted to, my heart of hearts wanted to. Can I keep saying that for the next 5 times?
So that's different. I think, like, once again, I think that's like what we said before. If it becomes a continuous thing, then now we got to look at it through a different lens.
Yeah, and then
but off of like,
huh? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, off a one-time thing, or something like that. A random moment. I don't necessarily think that defines you, but if it's a continuous act, then that's different.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard for me to look at it as just immaturity, even if it's one time. I feel like in your mind, you're convincing yourself to say no. Like your woman is pressing you, and you are saying, "Don't say it." And so coward means because you know something's going to happen, right? You're afraid to fess up to what you did, and you're afraid to get the consequence. So as she's asking you, you like deny because you don't want a divorce. Deny because you don't want to get caught. You don't want people to know. So because even with that, when it comes to protecting people's feelings, this is different sidebar, but not really. It's kind of a man thing too, because where do you fall at? Do people have the right to know? Or do you have the right to say, yo, it's better that you never know, right? So let's just say, one of your boys, he he stepped out on his wife. He come to you like, yo, I seen this in the show, so I'm gonna give you a scenario. He come to you like, yo, what should I do? And in the show, he was like, yo, you gonna do it again? The dude was like, nah, yo, it's over. It's over. It was a one-time thing. I told her I lost her number. I broke my phone. I got a whole new phone. Whatever. I changed my number. Whatever. So I'm never going to contact her again. And then his friend was like, all right, well, leave it alone then. If you're not going to make it a continual thing, just leave it alone, right? So, are you that person that would say, yo, if it's over, don't even tell your wife? Or are you that person that says she has a right to know what you did behind her back, even if you are done? Even if you now in our mind, we like, yo, you. Not our mind, but the regular, society. You crazy? You open up a can of worms that you don't got to? Like, let that sleeping dog lie. Take that to your grave. Don't say nothing, because she ain't going to react. She ain't going to be like, oh, thank you for telling me, boo. You so honest, right? She ain't going to say it like that. It's going to be World War III all in the house, and you still telling them, babe, it's over. I did it one time. I broke it off. I'm never going to do it again. That don't matter. You did it. So where do you fall? Leave it alone. Take it to your grave. As long as you ain't going to continue to do it, or, nah, my spouse got the right to know.
Well, I mean, for me, as a Christian, I know you said the whole it's not a religious platform and all that, but as a Christian, I'm going to say you got to say, only because what's done in the dark comes to light in some way, form, or fashion, and that'd be even worse. I don't know what the wife was going to do, going to say, pertaining that the husband, cheating or whatever. But whatever the comes from that is going to be 5-10 times worse if she was to find out without him saying it.
Yeah.
So I mean that's where I stand with that. I'll be the first to be like.
But let's be honest though, D. There are mad people who have went to their graves not ever knowing secrets, right? So I know that's what I'm saying. So as far as like what's done in the dark, what's done in the dark coming to light, that's not always true, right? It's not. Now it may come to the light, but not to that person. It may come to the light in another way. Like
it may be generations down.
It may be generations down when it comes. It may be connected to your son or your grandson. Because there's mad people that went to, that died and had all types of secrets that their significant other or whoever never knew about, right? So, JJ, what was you going to say?
So, just to kind of compound on that, like, I just had this conversation last night with one of my homeboys, and we was talking about like generations and stuff like that, like how it's important to know your family and stuff like that, right? So I was like, yeah, my grandfather was like, after him and my grandmother got a divorce, this dude was out there. He got like, I'm sure there's all types of Underwoods that are around, right? From North Carolina down to Florida. I'm sure there's all types of Underwoods. But my point in that is saying that, like, exactly. Like, my point in that is saying is like, it may not come back to him when he was still alive, but generations down the road, you go meet somebody and then y'all start talking and be like, yo, I got an aunt married too. What you mean? Huh? Like, now you dating this girl or whatever. Like, wait, you got an aunt married? Yeah, she lived over here, this and the other. So that it could come out in that way.
Yeah.
Right. So like you said, it may, like, what was done in the dark may come to light, but it may not, like, to your point, Marlon, it may not be right away. It might be generations down, and those people are long gone. So it never really affected them directly, but it could be other people.
Yeah.
But getting back to the point, I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like sometimes, because I'm always trying to like look at it through a different lens, right? Like I try to look at everything as black and white all the time. So I try to find like these different scenarios that are realistic and could happen. So it's like, okay, well, let's say your significant other, let's say, they're very, I don't know, I'm just spitballing, but like, let's say they're heavily on medication and they can't handle stress and things like that, right? We know that happens in today's day and age. Mm-hmm. And you throw them this curveball that might make them high blood pressure go off. I know it sounds extreme, but this stuff could happen. High blood pressure, they mess around and have a stroke because they had this crazy information dropped on them. Mm-hmm. Do you want to risk that? Right? Like, I'm just, like I said, it's just an example, but it's like, okay, if you know somebody about to go crazy about it, and it's not really going to be a conversation to be like, all right, well, let's see how we can get through this. It's going to be like, oh, what? What did you do? Oh my God, blah, blah. Now their stress levels go up, right? They high blood pressure, they on medication. But they ain't take their medication right then and there. You don't drop that bomb on them. And now all of a sudden, stuff happened. Yeah. And they, put themselves in a situation where they now need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm just
it's
an example.
Kind of extreme, but okay.
He said
it's really not as extreme. And I'm kind of going off of like, some of that is a real deal situation that happened. Like, not with me, but like a coworker that I know that ended up dying because her significant other, who was a husband, like this dude was like really wilding out, and her stress levels between the job and the home situation, like she had mad strokes and ended up dying because dude was just like wilding. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of basing it off of somewhat of the truth. Yes, I know it doesn't seem as likely, but it's not as unlikely either.
Yeah. Well, I would say, for me, like Daedrian says, the person has the right to know. But as JJ said, for multiple reasons, it's tough. It's tough. Like, I would want to say something. Like, I would want to say something. But for me, it's tough. It's tough. Because what you're saying, and also too, but you also know that you can say you don't want to hurt the person by telling them this, but you should have thought about hurting.
But you already did.
But you did, right? You know what I mean? So it's so crazy, but that's kind of what it is. You know what I mean? But it is self-preservation. Like, I'm not telling you so that you don't get hurt. I'm telling you so that I don't get like cut, and I don't get like
some hot grit sport on you, Al Green style.
Yeah, and that's not. And the question was, would you say something or would you not?
Yeah,
I'm saying something, but it's up to that person if they're gonna actually go through it anyway. It's not to say that I'll be like, yo, bro, yeah, you definitely should say something. It ain't like he's gonna just go over there and just, oh, like, you know what, you said it, you're gospel. Let me just go ahead and.
No, I mean, if you were the person, would you say something?
Oh, if I was a person.
Yeah. If you were the person, would you say something to your spouse, significant other? Would you say something? Yeah. So,
and it was me that cheated.
Yeah.
Would I say something?
Yeah. But again, the scenario.
But it's over.
It's over. It's never going to happen.
And you say you're not going to do it again.
Never going to see her. Never going to bump into her. Never going to have to come up with some awkward interaction. Nothing. Nothing. You know.
So then that brings me. Well, I know I didn't answer it. I answered it as telling somebody. But it leads me to another what could be a myth. As are men smart enough? Because that makes me think of that like, because not everybody, but society with the woman be like, you know, men are like the dumbest cheaters. Like it's written all over them. We can easily tell, you know, we got that woman intuition type stuff, you know, they're horrible at lying and blah, blah, blah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But that would lead to like another myth.
It would, especially if the man is saying that. Evidently, the woman don't. Especially if that means the woman don't know that. You know, if I got to tell you, that means the woman doesn't know. You know, I don't know. Like I said, there's a difference between, and I'm kind of doing that now. You know, just some stuff, and again, not cheating, y'all. For you know, because we want to get as vulnerable as we can on this platform. But like you know, some earlier things in my marriage just wasn't as transparent. So for the past, I don't know, many years, I was, because you know the difference between transparency and honesty, right? You know what I'm saying? Honesty is like you, Jay, you ask me a question and I answer it. I was honest. Transparency is I'm coming to you without the question. I'm just straight up saying, yo, this is where I was at. This is what I was doing. Da 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 da. Old girl, you know, because the thing about it, if an old girl's saying something to you, should you go home and say something to the missus and be like, yo, this is kind of what happened, right? Before, like, why would you? You know what I'm saying? So I think I would. Hard to say 100% because there's so many things going on in there, right? But I know 100% I would want to. I would definitely want to. So
I want to say that I would, because now my thought process, again, as a Christian, as in like, if I let it get to that point at all, something's going on. So that therefore it would lead me to actually say something.
Yeah. True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, no, I agree. But I get the why, right? I do get the why. Like even as a Christian, I get the why, because there's so many self-preservation. It's just so much going on. But at the same time, you know, the person has a right to know. And I think that's still going with men, right? So one myth that I got before we get into what's a man, I think we kind of always talk about what's to be a man. I got really one, too quick, what's a man. But this is a funny one, but I think it's a real one. And ladies, like, listen up to this, right? Where it says, and you know, I kind of threw a curveball, but I think it's the truth though. Maybe if I'm wrong. It says men have an insatiable appetite for sex. Like we just want it like all the time. Like all the time. I think that's a myth. I think it's a myth in a sense of like, because I think what it shows us as just like these sex hungry creatures, like these individuals that's like carnivores, just rah, rah, versus just kind of, now, I don't think we need much like women. I don't think we need all that extra scented candles. Now, we don't need all that. I know I don't. We don't need all that. We don't need all that. That's facts. No, absolutely not. You can, you know, but at the same token, there might be some times when I'm having a rough day, right? And I just don't feel like it, right? So I do think that myth does come with men. I do think it does come with men to be like, now I do think men are more sexual creatures than women, meaning like, it's like, you know, they need that emotional connection in order to kind of like, we kind of like whatever need like that physical, but even like long days, we're not going to use the excuse of a headache, but we can say something like, you know, I'm just sore. My body's hurt from work. If I work a physical job, right? Like that can work. I just want to like dispel the myth. Maybe you guys disagree, but I want to dispel the myth that we just like, you know, We want it 24/7, all day, every day, no matter how we feel. I feel like.
Well, I think if you look into the whole thing of like men versus women, like men are more sexual at a younger age than women are, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When they say women reach their sexual peak as they get older, whereas ours taper off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like in our teens and 20s and 30s, we're like here, like yeah. Like you probably do want to have it more often. Whereas women are like, and then as they get older, it becomes higher. The sex drive becomes higher. But I agree. I think like we're human beings too, unless that's just really your thing. It might be something like, listen, I'm tired.
Wait.
I'm trying to go to sleep.
Who was it? Was it Larsa Pippen? Was it Larsa Pippen, Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, that said that they had sex 4 times?
Yeah.
17 years in a row.
I ain't believe that though.
Nah, bro.
Yeah,
I ain't believe that. Scotty, Phil Jackson to give y'all that much time off back in the day. Like, get out of here.
No way. No way. But like you said, we're human beings. You know what I'm saying? And we got feelings. We get tired. You know, just all of that. Just all of that. So I just want to bring that up. But like you said, with society, even with society, how that's for a different time. But any other myths we got out there, fellas? Any other myths that we could think of? Of course, we know the whole thing. Men don't cry. We even did a whole show on that one time. Men don't cry, don't have emotions. But this one even says that men aren't weak. Well, we talked about that already, but they don't break down. They don't cry. They don't express affection. Maybe it's not the strong suit for some men, but there are men out there who are really affectionate. It's their thing. Romantic, touchy, feely, right? Maybe it's not. They're a lot of men, but it's some men out there that that do it. That do it. I would say a lot of men. Again, they don't cry. I'm not an emotional person, but I still think that men cry.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can contest to that, especially the older. It seems like the older that I've gotten. Being transparent here. Like I would say, the last year and a half, I cried more in the year and a half than I've cried my previous 45, 46 years.
That's crazy.
It's like the older I'm getting, the worse is getting for me.
That's crazy.
I definitely wasn't like when I was younger. I don't know. I guess I didn't cry. I might have been emotional, but I wasn't crying a lot. And when I was younger, if I was crying, it was probably because I was so angry that tears came out my face. So that was a little bit different. I do think that you change as an adult. Like if you become a parent, I think like for me, I tell anybody who know me, y'all know me. I was like, what? Definitely when I was younger, I definitely was more like, I don't care, like it's whatever, blah, blah, like, blah, blah. And some would even say mean to a certain degree. So as I had a kid, I was like, man, I find things, I'll be like, oh man, I'm a little soft now. I'll be like, yo, well, I'm a little bit more soft now as I get older, but still like, not like, I feel things if I watch a movie that seems, I'll be like, oh man, that's sad, yo. Like, I'll be like, man, turn this movie off. I'm about to catch some tears or something real quick. But I think that came with like having a kid for me.
Yeah,
but I'm still not like a super like crier. It's just something I don't like to do. And maybe that is like stereotypical, like man, like, oh, I shouldn't cry. Like maybe that's what it is. I'm not discounting that at all. But I shed tears when my mom passed last year. I shed some tears, but at the funeral, I didn't cry. Didn't cry at the funeral. So I don't know.
No, I think even when they say men don't cry, I really think they mean like a waterfall. You know what I mean? A lot. Like I think they know men. Boo hoo. No, I'm sorry. Tear up a little bit here and there, but like when it comes to like how women cry, like in comparison to, I think that's the truth. I think women cry more than men. I think they, I think
1,000%.
Yeah, they cry. I mean, over, But like you said, JJ, there is some pride issues too. That's like, nah, I'm a man. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that in public. You ain't doing that for me. You know what I mean? I think we was talking about that. We was talking about that at church one time. We was laughing, and we was talking about our parking lot ministry, and we was like, if I'm 45, and you got a young, you're not parking my car for me. I'm good. Like, I got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like parking your car is kind of like now valet. If I'm paying you, different story, right? But just like there's some men things that for me, I'll be honest with you, I'm just not doing that. There's some, as a man, I'm like, nah, I can't let you do certain things. So there's some things, even so when it comes to crying, that could be one of them. One of them can be like, yeah, nah, I'm just not like just imagine being in a movie, imagine being in a movie theater, and well, not a movie theater, just like if you in your living room with family and friends, and something emotional come on, are you letting it rip? Or are you just like, nah, hold that?
Yo, letting it rip is crazy. Like, you let them tears just fall down your face like that?
You go like that? Or are you going, I think it's mad sad, but yo, what's wrong? Yo, it's got windy in here for a second.
Yeah. Who cutting onions?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, it depends. It really depends. Like, if I'm with my immediate family, maybe. But if I'm with like y'all and y'all wives and kids, and we all watching a movie in the crib, I'm like, nah, yo, I'm cool. I gotta go upstairs real quick.
Yeah.
Come downstairs. Yo, why your eyes red, yo?
Why your eyes red?
Yeah, look, you start coming up with any excuse now. You be like, yo, I just want to tell y'all, man. I got a smoking weed habit, yo. So I just went here and puff one real quick. That's why my eyes red.
You gotta say something. You gonna have to say something for real.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, you definitely gotta say something. So, but yeah, so that was a couple of myths. So for me, real quick, fellas, can we talk about a lot? What is men? What is man? Hopefully we broke it down. But for me, so I'll wrap it up because Chris was telling me sometimes him and his friends come on and check it out, even now or come after. But for me, y'all can wrap it up in your own way, how, define what is a man. We talk a lot about what is, is that a man? Is that not a man? Brave, telling the truth or stuff like that. For me, two quick definitions. One, he got to be born with a penis, period. Like, I just want to throw that out there like that. Like, anybody out there saying that I identify with, this is not a Christian. That's why I said earlier, this is not a Christian platform. We are Christians, but all in all, in order for me to call you a man, you literally have to be born with a penis. Like, so, if you
that's crazy. That's the way the world is now, though. That you got
right? Yeah,
see that. Like, that's is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So that's the first thing. Like, that's the first thing. Second thing is, out of everything we said, whether it be paying bills, whether it be taking care of a child or anything, like, what makes you a man to me, if you're trying, right? So if you don't got a job, but you're looking for one, you're trying. Vice versa, though. If you don't got a job and you just a couch potato and you letting no girl or mom take care of you, you're not a man, right? You know what I mean? If you got a child out there and you're trying, right? Because we all know that you can have a child with somebody and they make it hard for you. They make it hard for you to connect with them, but you're still trying, or you have tried at some point in time, whatever it may be. Like, for me as a man, like, and of course, those trying for some of those scenarios should turn to completions and should turn to executions. But at first, just at first, let me see you trying to work, trying to be with your kids, trying to take care of your family. You trying. If you trying, to me, you a man. Anybody? What you guys got?
That's that. I'll piggy. I mean, that's that. I second what you said. And just the only thing that I would just add in there is being responsible. Yeah. I mean, that kind of goes along the same line as trying, really. Because as long as you're trying, you're going to be responsible. Yeah. So, that's about the only thing. But you nailed it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would, like I said, piggyback off of everything y'all said and the word that I said before, because this is what you had sent the topic. I was thinking about it earlier today, and because so many variations. Like this, the reason why we're having this platform right now or doing this episode of talking about it, because there's so many different ways you could define a man, right?
Yeah.
But I would just say I'm gonna just add to what you guys said. I'm gonna just say be confident. I think confidence in a man is a big thing. I think and that's something I'm learning, have learned, but still learning. Like being confident and just, as they say, 10 toes down on what your decision is, right? Like whatever it may be, just be confident, be certain about it. Even if you're wrong, right? Because you can still apologize for being wrong or whatever the case would be. But if you're wishy-washy and don't have an opinion about stuff, don't have a backbone about stuff, that may not be as much of a man. So I would add confidence into everything that was said.
That's good. That's good. I agree. I definitely agree. I agree. All right. So we appreciate y'all for coming on. We a little over an hour, and we are officially hour and 10 minutes. So we appreciate everybody, what it means to be a man. You know what I mean? If there's any young people listening to us, even men listening to us, let's get out of those myths that we said, nothing really defines you. You know what I mean? Some, these things society has built up for us, that doesn't define me. That don't define me as being a man or not being a man. In my opinion, as our opinion, and even piggybacking off of JJ, trying, but be confident about it. You know what I mean? Be confident. Even if, like going back to trying, even if you're not, I'm sure JJ about me saying this, even if you have a problem with confidence and you're insecure, you're trying to build your confidence. You're trying to build it. You've recognized it, right? And you say, you know what, I can work on my confidence. I'm insecure in these areas and I'm not as strong, but I'm working on it. I reckon I don't want to stay there. Go ahead.
And let me be clear real quick, because it wasn't like when I say about confidence for myself personally, when I said I'm still learning, it's not about I'm not confident. It's like the one thing it's like trying to please everybody.
Yeah.
You can't. Right. And so sometimes you just got to take a stand and say, this is what it is. This is what I believe and whatever. It was for me personally, just me personally. It was never because I've always been pretty confident about most things. So that wasn't the issue. It was just trying to appease everybody.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that. So sometimes you just got to be confident what your opinion is, what your stance is, and be 10 toes down on it. And then that's just what it is.
That's good.
True that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Because you're right. Everyone's not going to agree with you. They're not going to agree with you, but this is what I believe. And then once I believe, that's what you believe. Allow us to kind of like separate on good terms. Like we don't got to argue. I ain't trying to force feed you, and don't try to force feed me.
Right.
This is kind of what I believe. And like you said,
we can agree to disagree. And as grown adults, whether it's grown men or grown adults, like that's just what it is. Like, all right. But I think trying to please everyone can get you in trouble.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So appreciate it, fellas, for this edition of the Locker Room. What does it mean to be a man? And again, we spoke about a lot of myths. We talked about what it really means to be a man. We want you guys to be out there trying. You're not going to succeed at everything. You're going to fail at a whole bunch of things. But at the same time, get up and try it again. Get up and try it again. Do it again. I'm not going to let nothing get in my way from me and my family, me and my calling, whatever it may be. I'm going to try. So again, appreciate it, fellas. Thank y'all for coming on. Of course, Jared was with us in the chat. He couldn't make it on. He had a work-related responsibility, so he couldn't make it on. But he was in the chat.
He's being a man.
Yeah, he's being a man. Thing. Yep, exactly. Trying to provide for his family. I'm trying to hold it down. Trying to hold it down. Absolutely. So again, but I do have a question though, and I gotta go. I think I threw it out there earlier, and I thought about this when I was putting this thing. I was thinking about the questions. Can you be, and probably too late for this though, but at least 3-4 minutes. Can you be a good man but a bad father?
I don't see it.
I think so.
Both different answers. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Dejan, you first. What you say?
I mean, I don't see it, but again, you know, I'm not a father, but I don't see how you can be a bad man but a good father. I don't even see how that equals.
Yeah.
I just don't see it, because I would think the two would have to coincide at some point. Even if you're mad and it's an ex, it's the ex-wife or whatever, and you mad at her, and she might think you're not a good man because you're not treating her right. You're not doing the child support thing or whatever the case may be. That's just her opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you a bad man.
Mm.
If you're still doing good and right by your kids, I don't see how the two can coincide. It's an oxymoron to me.
Gotcha. JJ, what's your stance on it?
So real quick, it's funny you said that. So I'm watching the All-American Homecoming on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the situations was, so you know, we talk about the intricacies. This fits perfectly. One of the situations was one of the coaches in the TV show Homecoming, played the character's played by Corey Hardwick, and he is a good dude. He's a good coach. He's almost like a father figure to the team, right? To the guys on the team, on the baseball team. But he just found out he was a father. He doesn't know how to be a father. So when he gets to meet his kid who's already like a teenager, he's failing at it because he doesn't know how to be a father. But he's a good dude, a good man, but he doesn't know how to be a father.
But I've seen that show. I've seen that show, but that doesn't take. It still doesn't make him a bad father because he doesn't know how to be a father. This was just introduced to him, and the guy's 16, 17 years old. That doesn't make him a bad. Well, okay, 14. Well, the kid looked like he's 20 something. So, but it don't make him. How does that make him a bad father? Because he was just introduced to it. Like,
well, and that's my point about the intricacies of it, right? Like, so when you gave a definite answer and was like, no, and I'm like, well, there could be something in there that would break that definition.
But what makes you a bad father in the sense of what we're talking about, right? Does it make you a bad father because you don't know how to be a father, or does it make you a bad father because you're not trying to be a father? So if I'm trying to learn how to be a father, I'm still a good father, right?
And he was definitely trying. I've seen the show. So
I'm trying.
I don't tell you anymore because I just saw that part today. But okay, so to get on, I know we started a whole nother conversation, but I think one of the things I've learned as I get older is you don't know what you don't know, right? So it sounds like a simple term, but like, can you fault me for something if I was never taught, can you fault me for it? Right? So like, if I never had positive influences in my life as a father, right? Let's say I didn't have a good, maybe my father wasn't in my life. The men in the family was never really around, this, that, and the other. But growing up, and I know this kind of sounds a little crazy, but growing up, okay, I had to be a man, right? Like I had to find my way in society where I got a job and I went to school and this, that, and the other. So I'm a quote unquote good man. I'm a good coworker or a good boss or whatever. But me not having strong father figures in my life may make me like a bad father. Or if I see negative things, that may come out as being a father. But I'm still a good man in my everyday life.
Nah,
that could be a situation.
Sorry, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see how the two can coincide. I really don't.
If you trying in the beginning, right? In the beginning, just trying. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but son, I'm here, right? I don't know how to talk to you, but I'm here. I don't know how to comfort you, but I'm here. Whatever it may be, like I'm trying. If you are the total opposite, if you're not even showing up, like you got a job, you paying your bills, you go to church, you love the Lord, all that stuff, right? But you got a child that's in the same, that's 2 towns over, but you don't even try to reach out to him. You don't even try.
So okay, but that I think that's
love the Lord.
All right.
How does he love the Lord and not doing right by his child?
You acting like these things don't exist in the real world.
I'm not saying
this stuff really be happening, yo.
No, I 1000% agree with that. But that's why I'm saying that the two can't coincide. You can't be a good person and a bad father. It's just how can you be a good man? You're a good man. Oh yeah, he does this. Oh, but he's terrible to his kids. It doesn't equal.
But okay, so like,
it doesn't happen. I'm saying it doesn't equal.
But if he never knew that growing up, right? If he didn't have any positive male influences in his life, right?
Then chances
and now,
are,
like, say
he's not going to be a positive man. Chances are he's not going to be a positive man.
I agree with you, but I also think that there's room for both of those to be true. Because, like I said, if he grew up and said, "Okay, I got to get it out the mud," right? As they say, I got to get it out the mud. I'm becoming my own man. I ain't have a father in my life, so I'm becoming my own man. I'm gonna go to school and this, that, and the other. I'm gonna do whatever. I become a businessman, but I still don't have any positive male influence in my life. Now, let's say you had a kid, whether you knew about it or not, right? Because you didn't. That's something where you lack in now, right? Like now, there could be some people that might say, "No, I'm gonna learn how to be the best father." But some people might be like, "Yo." Especially, let's say if there's a situation where you found out you had a kid and the kid, let's say he's 8 years old, you might be like, "Yo, little man, you need to get out the mud too," like I did. That's not necessarily being a good parent, but he might just be like, "That's how I learned how to do it, so that's how you got to do it."
But that's not being a good man either. So what? That's what I'm saying.
So when kind of being a man if you have children, being a child is being a good father or great father. That's on the top of the list. Like that's the number one thing. We're measured by being a man by how good of a father we are. That starts with that.
No, I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying that if you are a good
man, I don't know if I agree with that.
I'm asking
I'm not saying that either.
Because
I'm saying if you are a good man,
you got to be saying that.
No, I'm saying that falls in line. If you are a good man, you're going to be a good father. I don't see how you could be a good man, but yet be a bad father.
No, I know what you're saying. What I'm saying is that, like, on a list of, like we said, trying, confidence, right? And if you have children, children got to be high. It's not a job. It's not having a job. It's not paying your bills. It's about being a good father.
It's about confidence. It's about trying. It's about being responsible.
Okay, so I don't.
Which we just already said that's our criteria of being a man.
Yeah. So, but eventually, we also said trying got to turn to success. So let's say this show that y'all watching. I don't know. So I'm hypothetically talking about it. Madison watched it. Let's just say this show. Let's say Corey Hardrick. He tries for 5 years but fails, and he never learns how to communicate with his son. Never learns how to be there for him. How long do you try? How long do you try to a point where you say you failing now? You know what I mean? Because I think at first you can say, "Yo, you trying? No doubt. I see you trying." Eventually, that if you don't succeed, eventually you got to now say you can't keep on giving somebody a path for trying forever.
Well, so I mean, and I can relate that to somebody. Okay, I don't have a kid, but I'm married, so that can be the same thing for a marriage. So that means, let's say that I hypothetically kept trying, and if I failed, that means I'm not a good man anymore.
In what?
I'm not a good husband, and so because I'm not a good husband, I'm not a good man.
I wouldn't say you're not a good husband. I would say that, are you really? How bad are you trying? If you went 5 years without or a year without succeeding at what you've been trying to do, how bad are you really trying to do it? So I wouldn't say it makes you bad. I would just say how can, if your wife keeps on saying to you hypothetically, "Yo, remember my birthday," and you go 2-3 years, 3 times when forgetting her birthday, and you say, "I be trying though, babe. I wrote it down."
You trash.
Yeah, you trash. Yo, you ain't trying. I wrote it on a calendar. I put it in my phone. I just keep on forgetting. You don't want to remember. You just don't want to remember.
So that automatically say, okay, you're a good guy, but you're a bad husband.
In that department, you're a bad husband. That's what I'm saying. What in that department, because in that department, because how long can you try? You cannot. I think we can use it as an excuse, even, like, yo, I'm trying. I think trying needs, I'm the one that said trying. So I think trying needs to be on it, but not, you can't say trying forever. So if the dude in the show is trying, no doubt, let's keep going. But then we go to next season or the next season and 3 seasons later, and you still in the same spot. I wouldn't keep my son in a sport for 3 years if he ain't succeeding. I'm like, yo, we might want to change another sport, bro. This ain't working for you. This is not your. You've been out there every morning, every night, shooting, dribbling, going to clinics. I'm paying for money, and you just ain't getting no better. I'm not gonna be like, "What you trying, though?" No, we gonna be like, we gotta find something else for you, bro. This ain't for you.
Yeah, come bowling with me. Let's try that. Come bowling.
Come bowling. So, but I'm with you. I do think that as long as he's trying, he's doing it. If he cannot get it done, I'm gonna say, yo, I don't believe you trying hard enough. Why haven't you learned your son's love language yet? Why haven't you learned that he loves gifts? It's been 5 years. No, I thought he liked me to touch him and hug him. He don't. That's not how he responds. If you don't know his love language in 5 years, I'm sorry, bro. You're not really as connected as you think you are.
But does that make you a bad father, though?
No, I wouldn't say a bad father. I wouldn't say bad.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
that's
bad.
What I'm saying. I don't think the two can coincide. I mean, I'm highly convinced that I don't think the two can coincide. I don't think you could be a good man / person, but be a bad father. I
think you could be a good father. See, I think the difference is if you're a good father, you're probably a good man. But being a good man doesn't necessarily equate to you being a good father.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Plus there's some men who are never going to be a father, right? Or not have any kids. Mm-hmm. So that variable is still open. You don't know. Just because I think there is a difference. Like, I don't think that they automatically coincide, that they go hand in hand, especially in the way that you're talking about. Like, if you're a good man, you gotta be a good father. But I think if you're a good father, there's a likelihood that you're a good man if you're a good father.
And I can see the opposite. I can see a person being a good father and not necessarily a good man.
And see, because we're men, we can agree to disagree.
and
plus the fact that it's an hour and a half coming up.
Yeah. And our audience is like, all right, what time y'all said y'all was getting off? Yeah, exactly. No, but
we try to give y'all more because we came on 15 minutes late, so we try to give y'all a little something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate y'all. Give y'all a little bonus, like JJ said. We thank y'all for coming on. Share it. Let people know that we was on. Go back and watch it. We're talking about what it means to be a man. We will be back on. Don't have an actual date yet, but we will be back on in February, March, April. We'll be back on in April. The last Thursday of the month, whatever date that is, in April. That's what we're trying to shoot for. Be consistent with you guys. You know what I mean? And it's a fun one next time. So we may be talking about sports, maybe talk about movies, maybe talking about McDowell's Coming to America. Best comedy of all time. Nope.
Yeah, I can agree with that 1,000%.
Nope. Never seen it.
Yeah, exactly. But who knows what we're going to be talking about? But check us out in the Locker Room the last Thursday in April. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Let me get this in this stream real quick. All right, everybody.